Like I've had that before with outings where I've called Cordis, like last summer I ran the Continental Divide from home, and I called him at like, you know, halfway down on the way home, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop, come meet me for pizza, like I'm done. And Cordis was like, said something like, you know what you need to do. Like, and ever since then I've liked thinking of it that way, of kind of this gut instinct of like, okay, you know you can keep going. And so I think even though those lows were entering my brain pretty early on, I think my intention this time was such that like I knew I was going to keep going. I knew what I needed to do.
Just like we call it crawl space the basement and this the upstairs. We need these down.
It's so funny because these are the maps that I used for my 2016 attempt. And Cordis and I remember we were like sitting on the plane to California in 2016, writing all these things on the map. And at one point, where is it? Like just these like random stressful messages, like hurry, like it's like so not me now. It's like so intense. Yeah. Between these and Cordis's pool shoes, I mean, we're ready for anything. And somewhere here in Glen Pass is where I bailed in 2016. There were like, we had a couple friends come meet us from LA, and they were camping there, and I think I knew, though, it was done way before that. I knew probably like in the first 8 hours that it wasn't gonna happen. Like when I go to sleep right now, no matter what, all I can think of is like these various trail junctions and like very specific spots, and it's like at a point where it's like I feel so fixated that I just like need it to start so that I can stop thinking about it. Tomorrow morning I'm gonna start the Nüümü Poyo, and I'll be going for the unsupported FKT. It'll be about 223 miles from Whitney Portal. But the actual technical trail starts from the summit of Whitney, but everyone's got to get to the summit of Whitney somehow. So around 223 miles, about 44,000 feet of climbing, and I'm hoping to complete it in around or under 4 days. The current unsupported record is by Amber Monforte, and she did this in 2016 in 4 days, 5 hours. I feel a lot more like I know the drill this time than I did 4 years ago. But besides that, I'm definitely a little terrified. I think it's a bit nerve-wracking to think tomorrow this time where I'll be as it's getting dark, and where I'll be settling in to try and catch a couple hours of sleep, if I'll be behind schedule, if I'll be ahead of schedule, if the smoke will be bad, if I'll go out there and it'll be totally manageable. There's just so many directions it could head. So I feel like the biggest thing is just gonna be being ready to adapt to all of it and see what I can do. So starting will be pretty relieving in a lot of ways, because I think that's all that's left to do at this point. Switchbacks. Pretty smoky. Made it to the top of Whitney. Hopping into some smoke. Realized pretty quickly that everything I'd planned in my spreadsheets wasn't going to quite line up to reality. There were going to be sections that would be far better and far worse. And the first day, once I got that out of my system, I really felt like, all right, like we're in this, you know. I was getting in my rhythms, like feeling like the pack weight was like the new normal. And a couple hours of sleep really set me in a good place. So I slept from like maybe 9 to 11 that night, and then just did this like all-nighter from 11 on. And I loved it. Like I absolutely loved it. And so it went from like this first day where it was like smoky and hard, and then like descending Forester Pass. It was like bright moon, like over all of the lakes, just like huge bodies of water reflecting in the moonlight. And like, I just kind of like had that first kind of like moment, you know, where you're like looking around. It's like, oh, I'm in this, right? Like, let's go. Like, it's the middle of the night. I've got this whole place to myself right now. Forester Pass took a little longer than I thought, but super stoked. Yeah, so morning 2, I woke up. I didn't wake up, I was up all night. It's not like I like had free breakfast at the hotel. It was fun to kind of start to see some hikers waking up, and they see me like stumbling with my headlamp and like, where have you been? Like, the mountains. Ray Lakes, it's like maybe 6:37. I had a rough night. Glen Pass was really hard. That climb up Pinchot was long and meandering, and I think one of the first lows where I was like, okay, yeah, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe, I don't know, like I'm just gonna be moving so much slower, and the excuses start coming in. On Pinchot Pass right now. I'm just like out of my mind right now.
I slept way worse than I thought I would. I was waking up like every 45 minutes to check the tracker, and I thought I would be like, she's fine. And then like I just can't get out of my head, and anytime I'll like wake up and I'm like, oh, it's been 45 minutes, let's check the tracker. But so that's good. What was she messaging me about? She was like asking how, because we got the two-way messaging now, and then she was like, how's the condo? I was like, I'm not responding. Like, I told her after she sent me that, I was like, I'll message you after Mather Pass, which is like 2 passes from here. I was like, you have to earn responses at this point. Yeah, I don't know. I think she's doing great in the morning now.
That was a low. I'm way behind schedule, and you know, even like as like my friend Sabrina before this sent me a text that's like, you know, the pain doesn't get worse or something like that. And I kept thinking that a lot of like, okay, the pain's not going to necessarily get worse each day. Like it's just like going to be horrible, but it's just going to be a matter of like repeating it and continuing. So I think from there I really realized that I was going to have to kind of, I don't know if I even realized I was doing this, but just shrunk my world to like me, my pack, my feet, and my little systems, and continual progress. Nighttime. I am actually loving the nights, which is so funny because I totally thought that it was going to be like the crux for me, but it's just so quiet and pleasant out here. There definitely was that realization of like after getting through day 2 of like, oh, things are actually in a better place than I realized. And it kind of wasn't until I reached Muir Pass that there was definitely like a tone change for me, like where I was feeling like really pulled along by the train and really excited and really like I was moving well. And that's an empowering thing to feel at like day 3. I'm like doing the math right now, and I think I might be able to I don't know. It's just so hard to know. I might be able to pull it off. So I'm feeling really... That night I decided that I was gonna not do 2 hours of sleep. I was gonna do a little less because I was getting closer to those record splits. And I felt like skipping sleep, if I can do it, is free time. Like this thing has hallucination written all over it. Like what's happening here? The psychological, the brain stuff got really weird on that last day. And it became like an intense battle. Like hallucinations were so real and distracting. It was really intense.
She's actually doing pretty good. Tracker is down to like 5% battery. And so we hadn't seen an update in like 7 hours, so I was starting to get a little bit concerned. But she ended up getting cell service around Reds Meadow, Devil's Post Pile area, which is actually really close to here. And so she got some texts out to me. First messages she sent me with the inReach, she was like, how's the Airbnb? Did you have a fun run? It's like, no, like, yeah, but don't ask about this, stay focused. And now she's just like, get the parks pass, I'm not sleeping, what's the record? Like, definitely a shift. Try and rage over the big pass, Donahue and Yosemite tonight. And she's got till 1 p.m. tomorrow for, I think 55, 60 miles left.
All right, I'm making my final push to try and get this FKT. It's like gotta go, the night has to just go perfectly. And I'm so nervous about it. So yeah, I've got to be able to stay up the whole night and run like the best splits of the whole journey. But I'm gonna try. So coming into Reds Meadow now, Devil's Post Pile, and probably gonna sign off for a bit here and just go head down for a bit.
The wildfires raging throughout the state. Wildfires here in California are sending smoke all across the state.
So we are in Yosemite and it is raining ash because there's a fire about like 10 miles outside of the valley, and so it's kind of just dumping all this debris into the valley. Abby should be like, was she like 4 or 5 miles out at this point?
Oh my god! You did it! I gotta have a time. That last like hour.
You must be crushed.
Was the hardest part of the whole thing. Like,
Aww. What was your final? What'd you end up?
I didn't even stop my watch. I don't think. Shoot! I've just been so messed up with this.
Aww.
I'll go back and end it where I hit the time, but
You're a rat. Are you kidding me?
every step towards that finish was hard. And I like messed up like the bridge at the end and was like all confused and trying to like, you know, like meet Cordis at the right spot, and however I got to that finish was gonna be the greatest thing in the world. And so I did in my in my brain deranged way, and it was like the sweetest thing in the world. As the record faded away, what didn't feel like this shattered dream or something. Like the thought of finishing this thing unsupported and in this speed attempt style is like something that I have just like dreamt of for so long, and it felt so crazy to be doing it and to be like in the midst of it. It really felt like a dream I was watching happen. I was actually having to like even say out loud and remind myself like this is real right now, like what you're experiencing is real. And you are doing this and you're going to complete this and be really proud of it. I had this like melted ice cream for breakfast. It was like whipped.
There's your graveyard thus far.
Oh yeah.
You got pizza, ice cream,
Coffee,
you got chips and guac, and
files loading. Just kind of coming to life again.